So this is my kind of first initial thoughts on Elden Ring, the new video game that just came out, and I gotta say I like it. So far it's a very different game. Someone like me, I have not played a game quite like this before. I know it's kind of based off like the Dark Souls series, like Bloodborne, those type of games, like open world, really like an action RPG type of game, I believe it's referred to. Um, and I gotta be honest, I really love games like that, but I haven't. But it's a little different though. Like Dark Souls is different than say like the games I usually play, like Grand Theft Auto or Assassin's Creed, Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor. You know what I mean? It's a little different in the sense it's a little more difficult. These games are a little more difficult from what I hear, and there's like a fantasy magical touch to it as well. I'm someone who has I haven't played these games before. I'm new. This is just my first initial thoughts on that from that perspective as someone who hasn't played the previous games, someone who doesn't know anything about this universe or about this lore, but is interested in learning more about it. Uh, I've heard a lot of people on YouTube, people I respect, talk very, very good things about the game. They say it's very enjoyable, but it's very difficult, is from what I've heard. And based off, I've done so far just three different playthroughs so far. I plan to do more because I very much enjoy this game. Uh, but from those three playthroughs, I can tell you this is a very difficult game, and it can be pretty frustrating to players who don't play this type of game a whole lot or don't know uh, like the controls or how this type of world works. And I got to tell you, my recommendation would be is to find good lord, is to find like a friend who knows who's played these games, who knows kind of like what it's all about, and have those people kind of educate you on how to get started. Because the thing about this game is there's no like instructions. There's no instructions at all. You are just thrown to the wolves. You are just thrown into this open world, and you got to figure it out. You got to figure out how to get supplies, how the controls work. You got to figure out how to level up. You got to figure out where all the loot is. You got to figure out how to craft. Crafting is a big thing in these type of games where you have to find material, and then after that you have to find the merchants, uh, where you can kind of buy, sell things. They don't show you that on the map until you find them. You got to find them, and then you can kind of like craft like crafting stuff and weapons and spells and all that. It's it's very difficult at first if you don't know what you're doing, which is why I suggest you try to find someone like I did who knows what they're doing and kind of have them teach you the very bare bones of it. And that's what's happened to me because I am what is considered a noob. I am very inexperienced in these type of games. I'm not very good at these games. I don't understand like the objective most of the time. But luckily, I had a friend help me out and kind of show me around the place. And now I got kind of a basic idea. And now that I have a basic idea, I feel like I am going to have a lot more fun with this game. As opposed to if I just was tackling this by myself, I feel like it wouldn't be as fun. I just feel like I would get really, really frustrated, because I don't really, you don't really know what's going on. You don't know how to upgrade your character, what to get, um, things of this nature, and then you just probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. But since now I have my buddy kind of show me how things work, I now know the very basic, bare minimum things, and then you can kind of just explore the world and have a more knowledgeable playthrough, and it's a little more fun. Is what I'm getting at. It's a little more fun. So that is my recommendation for anyone out there who has never played a game like Elden Ring, who hasn't played Elden Ring, who hasn't played Dark Souls or that series of games. Because I had never done that, and if the thing is, like, even if you played Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed, any of those open world games, that really, like, it's not like this game is not like that. It's a lot more. There's a lot more problem solving. It's a very difficult game, but it's very rewarding whenever you're able to overcome an enemy, or no matter how big or small they are, or just progress or upgrade your character. And it's very well done. I very much enjoy it. Even though I do get very frustrated at times, it's kind of a good frustration because it's just I very like usually I can attack a video game pretty good, but this one has really challenged me, and it will challenge you. It's if you're a more experienced player in this series or the Dark Souls or Bloodborne series, you may not be feeling these same feelings that I'm feeling. You may be more skilled, and it may not have been, pardon me, that big of a transition, for you. But for someone like me who has never played this before, it's difficult to get started. But if you stick with it, if you stick with it, if you learn the lay of the land, if you learn how everything works, how to level up, what to scavenge for, how much, all the little things in the world, if you explore every nook and cranny, I recommend doing that, finding the better and better gear. The more you scavenge, the better gear you'll get, and you won't have to pay for it. You'll enjoy it a lot more, and it's and just for newer players is more so who I'm speaking to, because veteran players will, y'all already know this. All right, this is just for people like me who are very inexperienced in these type of games, and who keeps hearing how good this game is, but has like no experience in it. So that's my recommendation. You actually even have to, like, you start out with a class. I started out with the Vagabond. Because I'm just the Vagabond's kind of like the default new player mod, where he's got a very powerful shield. It's like 100% shield. The dude's like a tank, and this is a class more so for like the sword, and like anyone who likes the ground and pound physical melee combat. I'm that type of person. In this type of game, there's a lot of like magic and spells and stuff that you can use to dispatch your enemies. That's really, really cool if you like that. It's never really been my thing. It's I don't know if maybe I'm just not mentally quick enough to, to uh, play with a class like that. But I'm someone who really prefers the sword clankings, sword on sword, hand on hand, physical combat. And I like getting down and dirty, with the enemies here. And if you are like that, if you played games like the Arkham series for Batman, or Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor Talion, with the sword play, you're fighting orcs and the swords are clanking. If you enjoy those type of games, if you know what I'm talking about here, and you enjoy kind of the physical, just simple like sword on sword action, I would recommend going with Vagabond. It's got a very high starting health rate. You got a high health bar. The dude's built like a tank, so he can take some damage. The shield here is a very good starting off shield. So if you are someone who's never played this kind of game, who and this sounds like something you might want to, and you're like the type of player that doesn't really like doing a lot of magic, but just likes to go up to an enemy, you know, swing your sword and fight them. If you're that type of player like myself, I would go with Vagabond. Vagabond is the I feel like is a good simple starting out class. It's you get your sword, your shield, you get a halberd. They all do a whole lot of damage. It's it's good. Plus, yeah, Vagabond. It's a wanderer. My whole thing is, I started this game. I'm like, I heard there was a whole lot of maps. I heard there was a whole lot of places to explore. This game is massive, from what I've heard, and I'm like a wanderer. This is Sir William. That's my guy, Sir William. I wanted to name him Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein from A Knight's Tale, but it didn't have enough characters. Enough, I couldn't fit that all in there, so I just had to go, and I wanted to go Sir William Thatcher. For those of you who have seen the movie, A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, it's a great movie. I recommend you go check that out. But I couldn't fit William Thatcher, so I could only fit Sir William. So that's what I'm calling my guy here. And so he's a knight who's like wandering, and that's what I would do, and I very much like it. I got the Godric armor here. It was really really good. It's the combat's very good. It's I would really try to avoid the big bosses at first until you level your character up, because the bosses are so difficult. So difficult, and you will not last long. Like the fights when you first, like, I put out a video in my gaming channel of the first time playing it, and I go up to this big golden knight on a horse, and I get decimated. Like I get beaten at like 2-3 moves. It's rough, man. It's a real tough game. I heard like only like 6% of players actually finish it. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I heard. And my recommendation for newer players like myself, what I plan to be doing is try to keep your head down, try to scavenge the land, for like pick up anything and everything you can find, berries, flowers, even if it seems insignificant, grab it, because there's certain items you can't get unless you craft uh bags or things to get it with certain flowers and stuff. So you have to make sure that you are picking up everything you can. Try to avoid combat with the big enemies. Soldiers like you're seeing on the screen right here. You can fight them too, but as long as you sneak up on them, that's that'll be fine. But you gotta kind of farm. This is a strategy I'm doing. Okay, this is the strategy I'm doing from a guy who's only played this game 3 times and never played a Bloodborne game or a Dark Souls game or anything like that. That's just what I'm doing. Kind of try to avoid the big combat. You know, uh, Farm everything you can get. Explore. It's very fun. Uh, this is a world I know nothing about, so it's a little refreshing because you go around every corner and it's just something new. Like you open a chest and you get some new stuff. I'm like, and there's nothing indicating that it's there, like in most open world games that has like a map indicator or anything like that. No, it's blank. The map's blank, and the only way you discover it is if you like wander to it. Like if you just walk to it, like this chest that you're seeing right now on the screen. I have to thank my buddy here because I don't know if I would have. It would have taken me so long to find that. Like he led me here. Like my buddy led me here, and kind of helped me find this armor. You have to kill like the captain of the night. It's this is one of the first encampments that you play in the game. It's in Limegrave. It's like the first area you can explore. Uh, and you will definitely see it. You kill the captain, you get this new armor, and it's stronger. So it's very very fun, very difficult. You will be frustrated. It's just going to be hard to understand. The lore is going to be hard to understand. It's going to be difficult just like to know like what to do. You know what I mean? But you can go on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos of people kind of giving tips and tricks to like starting out for new players. You can do what I did, have a buddy of yours, like a veteran player, kind of walk you through, kind of just they don't have to tell you everything. Just kind of give you like a basic teaching of the universe, basic teaching on how just like where to look like in your equipment, like working the equipment, the inventory menu, crafting. Like you don't get told any of this. You have to figure it out on your own. And I can I really respect that. It's just something. It's just it's going to be difficult for a lot of new players as it was for me because they just don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. But if you stick with it, if you just kind of figure it out, you know, here I'm figuring out that this sword is does a little more damage, so I do the switch after a little bit here, and I believe you'll have a good time. I intend on playing it a lot more, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Now that I kind of get the basic knowledge, I'm gonna have some fun. You get the if as you can see on your screen here, if it's blue, like if you have two swords and like I guess the numbers are blue, that means it's like a stronger stat. So you want to switch over to that. So that's basically what I did with this sword here. I got myself a new sword, and I'm about to check it out. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm feeling myself. I got me a new sword. Look at that. Yeah. And I got me some new armor too. Look at that. I got a green cape. Look at how clean that looks. Look at that green cape. I got the armor on my arms. I got the helmet. I got like the chest plate. Man, looking good. This is the Godric armor, and you can get it by killing this knight captain in this encampment in Limegrave right when you first start the game. And dude, it's looking real sweet. It's like looking real sweet. Now there will also be all kinds of monsters. Like you can see here, there's a dragon, and like I said, as you're exploring the game, like there's gonna be nothing going on. Like it's gonna be nothing. You're just gonna be kind of going do. Looking for crafting materials. Like I said, you want to look for crafting materials and gear, and then all of a sudden, like a big dragon shows up, and then you have to like hightail it on out of there. And look, there's a giant ass crab just shows up too. So then you have to fight this thing, and most of the time, they're like so overpowered that you can't beat them. But look, oh, see, they're oh no, look at that, I'm getting eaten. This damn thing's eating me. Look at that. But I'm still alive, and we're fighting this thing, this giant damn crab, and I get killed. I unfortunately get killed, but my boy gets the crab, so is what it is. And an important thing to remember is when you are leaving, be sure you go through the steps of quitting. Don't just turn off your PlayStation. Make sure you go quit. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to quit? Hit yes. Okay? You want to do that because if you don't, it won't save and you might lose all of the progress that you've made. Okay? And I'm one of those people where I usually rely on autosave a lot, but this is a game where you don't want to lose any material that you acquire because it'll be super frustrating. You know, like these little lights right here. These little lights, good lord, right here. You want to try and find those because that's like a lost grace. You like save that's where you say like if you get killed, you will be transported to the last lost grave that you found, and that's gonna be it. You know that's how you leave the game. You want to make sure you exit so that it saves everything. All right. So ultimately, just I know I rambled on a little bit there. My thoughts on the game are I very much enjoy it. It's very hard, but I do recommend it. It is very difficult. Get ready for a challenge, but if you stick with it, if you uh, are willing to learn the land and how everything works, or if you're like me, you can have a friend help you out. There's no shame in that, you know. And then you kind of get into a groove, it'll become a very enjoyable game. So I would recommend it. I look forward to playing it more. I will have more videos on me playing this on my gaming channel, Duuuval County Gamer. I'll leave a link in the description box. And yeah, when I if and when I do complete this game, it's gonna be a while. But when I do, I'll do a another like just full review of what I think about the